live demo for the day featuring Batman Arkham City. I'm here with Sefton Hill, game director from Rocksteady Studios. How you doing, dude?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm ecstatic because I am a huge Batman fan.
Awesome.
Don't know about you.
Yeah, I'm the biggest Batman fan.
Oh, yeah, it's better. So you worked on Arkham Asylum.
Yeah,
correct
that's
me if
right.
I'm wrong. Cool.
Yeah.
So, which kind of funny because about 2 years ago, E3 2009, Batman was here, and it was like kind of the sleeper hit of the summer. Great game, and you guys are following up the sequel, which I mean, to one of the most, it was the most well-received superhero game of all time. I believe it even made it into the Guinness Book of Records, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, I mean, we're really happy to be here at E3 to get to show everyone, the game.
Mm-hmm.
One of the great things is we really want people to come and play the game as well, because we're all about the gameplay. We're a really gameplay-focused studio, so we just want people to come, see the game for themselves. Really, everyone gets a feel and know what the game's like.
Very cool. Well, I mean, I am honored that you guys are here to show us the game.
Yeah.
What exactly will we be showing off today?
So we're going to show you some really cool stuff. We're going to give you a little teaser of Catwoman, and then we're going to show you what Arkham City's like. Show you a bit of the scale of Arkham City and all the great, cool, interesting things there are to do there.
Now, it's funny, choice of words, tease of Catwoman, who like herself is like the biggest tease from what I've seen.
Yeah.
She likes to kiss guys before she knocks them out.
There's a little bit of that, yeah.
Yeah, she's kind of a jerk. But you're going to be able to play as her. Has that been confirmed?
Yeah, you can play as Catwoman. One of the really great new features of the game is kind of what we're calling the special guest appearance. So she's in the game. You're going to play as her, and we thought she was a really interesting character to include because, here's someone she's kind of different to Batman. She doesn't have that same kind of moral fortitude or direction or compass as Batman. She's just out looking for number one. So, that makes her a kind of different player experience to Batman. As well as that, she's got her own gadgets, her own moves, her own abilities, her own animations. So, something we put a lot of work into because we really wanted players to experience a completely new and different character.
Cool. And from what I understand, her role is somewhat optional. You don't have to play as her, or are you ever forced to play as her?
It's kind of interwoven into the main story.
Okay.
So, but I would say, kind of to give you an idea, that if you're going to take down all the supervillains in Arkham City, it'll probably take you 25 plus hours. Catwoman's about 10% of that experience, to give you an idea. So it's definitely Batman's game. It is Batman. It's the Batman story, but Catwoman has got a significant role to play in that. So
cool. Well, I guess we're ready whenever you guys are.
Let's take a look at Catwoman.
I know the kids just want to see the gameplay. They're just yelling at me right now on the stream. Shut up and play the game. Very cool.
So we're going to start here in Two-Face's office. What you can see here is some of Two-Face's goons have found this safe that Two-Face has got hidden in this office, and they're basically waiting for Two-Face to turn up.
These are the goons of Two-Face. This is his henchmen, right?
And you can see how they've taken kind of Two-Face's. They've taken the kind of standard Arkham City outfit and kind of pimped that out to give them the Two-Face look. And some of them have got these kind of distorted masks on as well. And then they're kind of terrified Batman's going to turn up, but instead Catwoman turns up.
Yes.
So we're going to see some of Catwoman's combat here. See how different that is to Batman's. How smooth she moves around. And different types of counters, kind of much more. I guess she knows men's weak points and maybe a little bit even better than Batman, so she will prey on those.
Control-wise, though, the combat is similar to Arkham Asylum, or have you made any significant changes to the design?
Yeah, I mean, we've worked on the same kind of basic control scheme that people really enjoyed, so we've still got the kind of core of the free-flow combat system, but we've expanded that with twice as many moves and twice as many animations. So when you come into the game, if you've played the first game, you're going to be able to transfer those skills to this game.
Right.
But then you're going to be able to learn these new moves that you can combo in. And the same with the rest of the free flow system is that you can combo any of those moves in at any time. So basically it's down to you to choose when's the right time to do those moves. There's no preset combos. The whole point of the free flow combat system is you choose what moves you want to do at any time, and we've just given you a much greater selection of moves to do in this game.
Now I'm kind of interested in your design philosophy on these characters, Catwoman especially. I mean, I understand it's kind of based on the Jim Lee design, but it seems like you guys have taken a lot of inspiration from like the animated series. We're using Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy and stuff like that. Is that kind of your goal to make like a marriage between the two?
I guess kind of what you're seeing is like our ideal Batman. So it's kind of all these inspirations from the Batman universe, from different places in the Batman universe. So, all the media that he's appeared in over the years is what's inspired us to create this vision. and then to create kind of a consistent vision. So,
Right.
you know, when we've taken Catwoman, we've thought, what would Catwoman look like in the Arkhamverse? What would Two-Face look like in the Arkhamverse? So we're kind of trying to take those characters, which are kind of all have like maybe their own slightly different fantastical elements, and make them into one consistent universe. So
Right.
that's what kind of gives them their look and feel here. And we're definitely inspired by all the great versions of Batman, Catwoman, Two-Face, and interpretations of that. But hopefully when you see them, it really feels like these fit beautifully well in the game that we've made.
Now this part right here is interesting because we're seeing Two-Face's courthouse, which I noticed, I didn't notice the first time I played it, but the courthouse itself is kind of a representation of Two-Face. It's broken into two halves.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I'm guessing you guys probably do that throughout all of Arkham City, correct?
Yeah, I mean, the whole of Arkham City, what's great is the way that this has been twisted into kind of a weird extension of the supervillains that are in there. So, you know, if you look very carefully, you can see different hints around there about how the supervillains have twisted this place. And it's been open for just over a month, but they've already gone in there and they've started to manipulate and twist the place, kind of it bends to their will.
Right.
So it's really kind of an interesting way that you've got this environment that's already full of all these legendary landmarks,
Right.
and then they're getting twisted as the supervillains are in there.
Right. And another new feature of the game right now that we're showing off right now is Batman's actually able to glide around a bit more freely than he could in Arkham Asylum, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the things we really worked on a lot, was improving the kind of navigational abilities of Batman, because moving the game into Arkham City, into this huge district of Gotham City, we knew we needed to really amp up the way that Batman moves around. So we really focused on having these different abilities for Batman. So he has this dive that he can use to gain loads of momentum and keep up his speed as he moves around. We have a grapple boost that you can use to boost off the top of buildings and keep that momentum going. And it's a real skill that you learn. I guess it's kind of quite analogous to the free flow combat, that when you played it, you felt really good. But the more you played it, the better you could chain all the moves together, and you'll have exactly the same experience with the navigational abilities, that you'll be able to chain all these abilities together to get around the city.
Cool. And I'm guessing based on the upgrade abilities from Arkham Asylum would probably play into that, being able to traverse faster or move around in a more dynamic way.
Yeah, you have a whole suite of different upgrades that you can use as well as you go through the game. I think, you know, there were 20 in the last game, we've got over 30 in this game.
Gotcha.
And different ways you can upgrade your character. You've seen some of the cool ways that we're gliding around there.
Yeah.
You saw before that Jez was also interrogating enemies, so one of the new features as well. Obviously, one of the key features of Batman is interrogating enemies, getting information from them. And that's one of the cool things as well, like I said, about the different supervillains and how they're using Arkham City for themselves. The interrogation is a good example of that, because Riddler is actually using Arkham City. The way he's trying to get control of it is by being smarter than all the other supervillains.
Right.
So he's paying off a load of informants that are working in all their gangs to keep him ahead of what they're doing, and also to try and capture Batman, to outsmart Batman. So Batman captures these guys, interrogates them to get information, and finds out the location of things like the Riddler trophies that are hidden around.
Gotcha. Yeah, I noticed that too. He was just flying by. We saw a Riddler trophy, which I understand is still optional, but adds about, it was like 10 to 15 hours of gameplay just on Riddler.
Yeah, I
stuff
mean,
alone.
I think definitely Riddler himself, I would think if you were going to do the whole Riddler story just in one block, could be up to 10 hours of gameplay, I would
Jeez.
say, yeah. So that's a really big chunk of gameplay. And there's a lot of trophies to collect, but they're not just kind of stuck around for you to find on top of buildings. Every one of them has like a little challenge attached to it, and we've tried to make every one of those challenges like a unique twist. So using all your gadgets in different ways to beat those challenges. So, you know, Riddler's really stepped up his game. He doesn't want to just lay these things around for you to find. He wants you to use all the new upgraded gadgets to solve these puzzles that he's put out there for you.
Well, I remember in Arkham Asylum, they had a really interesting, it was like an optional kind of thing with it was Arkham who actually built the asylum.
Yeah.
Had these like kind of cryptic messages left behind, and you kind of got a more fleshed out, you know, I mean, I know a lot of that was based on the comic series.
Yeah.
Is there something that you're using in Arkham City that kind of fleshes out the backstory of that as well?
Yeah. I mean, we've got loads of stuff in the game where we're basically showing what we thought was really interesting story to follow is the story from the first game to the second game. So you can unlock stories about how Arkham City was created. You can unlock stories telling what the villains have done there, and basically telling you, because in order to make the second game, we've written a ton of stories that link the two games together and show the path that all the supervillains have taken. And we wanted to share those with the players, so you can kind of unlock these Arkham City stories which tell that. It can show you why the world is the way it is. They can let you know all that backstory as well.
Cool. And earlier we saw Catwoman. She got caught, and I'm guessing this is kind of how this is what ended up happening to her.
Yeah, so she gets caught by Two-Face,
Yes.
and Two-Face is kind of making this power play. He wants to show how powerful he is in Arkham City, so he's only recently been thrown in. Him and Catwoman were like two of the last supervillains to get thrown in. So how he wants to show his power is he's going to show he's powerful enough to capture Catwoman and kill her, to kind of get people up, go behind him, because Penguin and Joker have been in Arkham City for a while. They've established these big armies that are following them.
Right.
So Two-Face needs to step up his game and get in there quickly. So he's going to kill Catwoman, basically, to show that. So Batman hears about this. He's trying to get to the cool house to save Catwoman as quickly as possible.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of this
So
story that
it's
we're
kind of
seeing.
like a post-apocalyptic world almost that you've created where it's just anarchy rules. I mean, that kind of seems to be Hugo Strange's MO, right? It's like, you rule yourselves, the only thing is you can't escape or else we'll shoot you, right?
Yeah, and I mean, he expected there to be anarchy, but what's kind of quite interesting that's actually happened is that this social order's kind of formed with people joining Joker and Penguin to survive. So it's kind of an interesting situation as well, that to survive in this place, people are having to align to these different groups, and the different groups all have their own kinds of MOs. So obviously Two-Face's group kind of ruled by chance. Penguin has very high standards for his guys. They're almost kind of mercenary.
Right.
So he kind of has a gladiator pit where you have to fight in order to be good enough to get there. And if you get killed in the gladiator pit trying to join Penguin, that's just tough luck. It's only the guys who survive that he wants to join his crew. Joker kind of take anyone, but if you join Joker's crew, you know you're probably going to be pretty expendable as well. So, you know, they all have their own MO, which I think is really interesting about how they're working as well in the world.
Right.
And that gives this kind of really unique flavour to the game because they're all trying to do different things. They're all trying to use Arkham City for their own ends. Zaz is doing something totally different to Joker, to Penguin. So the thing is, the only thing standing in the way of any of these people doing this thing is Batman, basically.
Right.
So that's the thing really, is what can Batman do to stop all of these different people who are all doing different things?
And clearly Hugo Strange has a bigger plan going on, and he seems, I mean, it was revealed in the initial trailer that Hugo knows Batman's identity.
Yeah.
And is that, I mean, you don't have to spoil it, but I assume that's going to play into the story somewhere.
I mean, of course, Hugo Strange knows Batman identity, so that's a whole new risk for Batman that he's not had before. You know, so he's got Joker to kind of tear this place apart, and Hugo Strange knows his identity. Where's that going to go? That's the kind of all these threads. How are they going to tie together? That I think is really exciting for us in terms of the story.
Yeah, I'm actually very excited about the story. And I mean, as far as timeline-wise, how much longer after does it take place after Arkham Asylum?
So it's about 18 months after the events of Arkham Asylum.
Okay.
So it's taken. So Quincy Sharp, who was the mayor in Arkham Asylum, he's basically shut down Arkham Asylum. He shut down Blackgate Prison. He built a wall around this huge district of Gotham, and he basically chucked everyone into here.
It's the slums, right?
Kind of like the slum area, but there's different kind of flavours to the areas that you're in. So kind of like the slum area, and basically walled this off. But you know, obviously there's a lot of legendary landmarks to see as you search around this area, and a lot of kind of Gotham's history to find there. So it's taken about 12 months to build this place, and then they moved everyone here, and it's been open for around about a month when you start the game. So kind of this social order's formed in there, and then Batman's sort of thrown in there. He's been monitoring the place, but he's thrown in there, and then it's kind of what happens next.
Right. Well, there was also the interesting part about Arkham Asylum where Batman has access to his gadgets and everything based on his Batcave.
Yeah.
And they had a kind of a cool Batcave, sort of like a Batcave 2.0 in Arkham Asylum. Are you using that same kind of aspect in this game, or is the upgrade system just done through the menu or something like that?
I mean, I think that for the gadgets, you know, Batman can only really get these gadgets from Batman approved outlets. You know, like he's not just going to find them in a dumpster somewhere or in a bin. So, you know, he has to get them from places or ways that make sense for Batman to get those gadgets. But you are still definitely going to get new gadgets as you play through. We've talked a lot about the gadgets that were in the first game and how we've modified all those gadgets, but at the same time, there are new gadgets. We're not revealing those just yet, but there are completely new gadgets which are really cool, and will modify how you play all the different types of gameplay as well.
And I think we are done. All right, cool. So that's our gameplay demo for Batman Arkham City. Looks amazing.
Cool. Thanks
very
much.
excited about it. When can we look forward to the game coming out?
So we're out on October 18th on Xbox, PS3, and PC.
Very cool. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Cool.
Thanks very much.
We are cutting to our End of Nations pre-E3 coverage. Go check out some of that right now.